Let us start with a quote. Success doesn't make you happy, but happiness is the way to success. And then let's explain this garment. It has to do with another rule of happiness, variety. It is good to change, it's good to try and have fun, sometimes change your clothes if nothing else. Of course, this is not recommended in some places, gated communities like here, to use them outside and have a frowning attitude because you don't know what can happen next. But variety is, as I said, an important principle. In fact, the Harvard professor that I will keep mentioning, Tal Ben-Shahar, has invented a new name for that called the lasagna principle. He has this story with this dish, this food which he likes and which his mother makes for him whenever he comes home. But home in Israel, I guess. It's logical that he will not want to eat this every day and for every meal. The same thing goes to apply to many other things. There is another effect which has been studied by psychologists called the honeymoon effect, whereby it has been discovered that after a period of 2 years, couples tend to feel a sensation of boredom sometimes. They are used with each other, the hedonic adaptation, which we mentioned in another talk we had. And that's one important reason why so many couples separate or divorce. There are ways around that, but basically, as again this Harvard professor mentions, he refers to Halle Berry and says that if you are in a relationship with one such gorgeous woman or man, who knows, Clooney or something, you still, after a period of 2 years, basically and generally, you feel the need for a difference. You have to do, and you can do, obviously, something about that, but there it is. Another important thing that we would need to mention is finding your calling. That would be, again, a certain way to happiness and success. Finding your calling would mean that you need to establish what you like, what you can do, what you're good at, and then find what has meaning for you. And where these will intersect, that would be your calling. Studies have been made on this too. Many studies in positive psychology are fascinating, and perhaps this is such a one. In hospitals, for instance, they have taken the trouble to ask people, from doctors to janitors, how do they feel about their job, what is their level of satisfaction, and things like that. Awkwardly, strangely, paradoxically, and counterintuitively, I would say, there were quite a few doctors who were less happy than the janitors, and vice versa. That is because we have 3 groups of people mainly in almost any job. A third would go for that type of work, and see it as just a job. Others will see it as a career, a path to success, and the last most important group would see it as a calling. And those janitors who saw their job as a calling, meaning that they would go and talk to the patients, rearrange a tableau or something, they were happier than the doctors who saw it like any other job. So this is something you would need to consider, and you would do well to find your calling, because then you don't simply work, you do something you would like to do anyway. And to finish with a quote from Shakespeare, Hamlet: "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So it's not what happens, it is what you make of what happens. Solo.